Josh Green here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by highly respected trainer, Mr. Alan Smith. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Really well.
Yeah, big times for you at the moment in the iBox gym. It's always a busy gym, I think that's fair to say, but some big opportunities coming up for your fighters, taking on some new fighters as well. It's always good to be busy.
Yeah, we've been a flourishing gym for over 23 years, and as a pro, and we've had fighters come and go, and it's always been a great gym and great characters, and you always seem to turn around good kids that have all come from great amateur pedigrees. So we're lucky in that respect.
Let's have a chat about some of the fighters in the gym at the moment. Skye Nicholson's found her home there, and she's now got an opportunity for a world title over in Las Vegas. Exciting for her at this point in her career to get that opportunity. What does it mean to the guys at the gym that she's been in that position now?
Yeah, I mean, Skye Nicholson's an incredible talent. She picked us, which was really nice. And first initial was no, we didn't want any girls in the gym. I was a bit stubborn about it, but she's an incredible talent and a really nice person. She's super easy to look after. Ed's her main trainer, Eddie Lam, my second. And he's done an incredible job with her. So I just oversee what they do and just help out where I can. But she should win the world title. And she's willing to take bigger fights, and she's an Olympian. She's so well established, and she's got a great aura around her. She sets the gym alight. She causes no grief at all. She leaves the boys behind with being a diva. She's the least of the diva, so we're proud to have her in the gym.
In terms of her outlook on that fight, I think activity's been a big thing for her. She was out 4 times in 2023. Her opponent, Sarah Mahfood, hasn't fought since 2022. Is that something you think could be a key factor, that she's been competing at that level for the past year consistently?
Yeah, I think she's got the upper hand in most fights. She's very well schooled. She's a southpaw. She's got good feet, good hands. Although she's not the biggest puncher, she can punch a little bit. She showed that in her last fight. And I think the activity and the way that Matchroom have kept her busy, and Eddie's kept her busy in the gym, Eddie Lam, training, sparring. She takes any opportunity. She jumped in with Henry Turner this week because she didn't have a sparring partner. So that will be a big key factor. And also her a will to win is massive.
Spoke to Skye in the past, and she's mentioned that Amanda Serrano fight as a huge goal for her and something that she wants to do before Amanda is near that retirement. If she captures the world title, then the opportunity could be there to land that even later this year. Is that something that you guys are possibly looking towards?
I think that's just down to Eddie and to Skye and the promotional team and the manager, Paul Reedy. And, he's a great manager and he's been looking after us. So I think that's the thing. But for me, my advice to her is do one fight at a time, get this one out of the way, win the world title, and then look where you can be. Don't get too far down the road. And she takes the advice on from Paul, her manager, and myself and Eddie really, really fluently. So I think she needs to just get this one out of the way and look where she wants to be.
I mentioned earlier how busy the gym is at the moment. There's been a few comings and goings in the gym. I know a couple of fighters have, unfortunately for yourselves, left the gym. Dennis McCann and Pierce O'Leary. Just talk to me about the talents that they are and sort of the reasonings behind them leaving.
Yeah, I think, they've had their own reasonings. I'm still very, very close to Den. I still speak to him on a weekly basis. He had to draw with Baluta and he had a few issues. And you know what? Den's been with me since he's 16 years old. And, it was quite a loss to let him go. But, he just thought that he needed a change and Pierce went with him. But they're both, Pierce O'Leary is a serial puncher. I've always had the most faith in him. He's never looked bad under us. But every person has their own choice of leaving or trying who they want to train. They're not under contract with us. And, I think both of them are going to do massive, big things. And, Pierce O'Leary, like I say, is a serial puncher. And Dennis McCann, so talented. We just got it wrong on the Baluta fight. And these things happen. But, I wish him the very, very best of luck.
Do you think, from Dennis's point of view, we will see the rematch with Baluta anytime down the line?
I don't think so. I don't think that'll happen. I think Dennis is Dennis wants revenge. He's just a young man. He's got a big heart, but I think he's got, a new trainer that will pick his fights for him. Brad Strand's a good opponent for Dennis. Do you know what I mean? I think Den wins. But I think he needs to just work on what's next. It was just the wrong night for Blue. Sometimes these things happen. You move along, and that kid don't go that far. And the person who gets the draw or comes out the other way goes a lot further. So he just needs to just put it behind him, take an experience, in my opinion.
And we talked about a couple of fighters there that have left the gym, but you've taken on a new charge in Moses Itauma, somebody who's made waves in his early boxing career and made statements about wanting to become the youngest ever world heavyweight champion. What does it mean to have Moses in the corner and have his experience and pedigree and the sort of light he shines on the gym as well?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment we're just looking after him because he was with the same amateur team that I've known a long, long time, and he just thought he needed a change. So we're looking after him for now. So he's having a trial with us, and there's no pressure on either side. We'd love him to stay, but he's a young man again, and we get on extremely well. I spend a lot of time with him personally. He's multi-talented. He's been in my gym since he's 13 sparring, and it was me that rung Frank Warren and said, I've just seen the best kid I've ever seen walk through my door. Spoke to Lerone Richards, who was with me for British and Commonwealth titles. And I was just outstanding at a 13-year-old boy. But at the moment, we're working with him. He's had a look at a couple of other trainers. He seems to have stayed with us so far. But, to have him in the gym, we're in his corner for his next fight and hopefully the next one. And we're going to try and pull the, bond together first before we make big commitments. But it's an incredible privilege and honour to look after Moses Itauma. That he's allowed us to give him that chance to show him what we can do, and vice versa. He's a very easy kid to train. He just wants to learn 24/7. I have to come in every day and find something new for him. That's his only thing. So I have to go back out to my old book, which is old now, and find something new for him, which is good fun.
I was going to say with Moses, he's still very young in his career, but seems to be picking up things incredibly quickly. What is he like in the gym? Is he very just keen to learn and keen to take stuff on?
Yeah, I think he's one of the most articulate people I've ever met. He's very quiet, but when he knows you, he's chatty. He don't shut up, and it's quite good fun. And Dennis was full of fun, and now Dennis is gone, and now Dennis is a 23-year-old man, and we've got a 19-year-old boy who looks like a 29-year-old man. But he just always asking questions. He doesn't answer back. He turns up on time. I'm quite a strict coach, and I've fallen out with people over that. So probably something I'll have to learn to live with, really. But yeah, he's great fun, and he'll try new things, and we experiment with me, him, and Eddie. Yeah, he's a real good addition, and he gets on with the other teammates really well.
Talk about he's been sort of mentioned since that debut as a huge prospect for British boxing, not just British boxing, but at the world level, ever since his debut. I think purely because of the power he carries and the size and the sort of figure he has. How much of a prospect do you see him as, and how far do you think he can go in a short space of time?
I think when I see him at 13 years old, Lerone Richards is a serious talent, and he was probably, 7 years ago. He was still massively brilliant. He was a senior ABA champion. And, I thought this kid special, 75 kilos, 13 years old, sparring with, an immensely talented boy in Lerone Richards. I think he wins a world title. I think he's only 19 and he needs to listen. He's with Francis Warren, who they've got the best relationship, the same as him and Sam Noakes is in my gym. And he just needs to take his time. That's my only advice to him. Don't rush to get there. Try to take as many meaningful fights as possible. Learn. You can learn more in one night in the ring than you will 6 months in the gym. So that's my advice to him. But every young man wants to get there quick.
Is it difficult to sort of tell him not to rush, because everybody wants to get to where they want to be so quickly, and for him it's to become that youngest world heavyweight champion? Is it difficult sometimes to get that through to him?
Yeah, but he's took everything. He's took everything on board, and obviously him and Francis are close. So he's his manager, and he'll be the one to really guide him. And obviously Frank is promoter. But I think he needs to just learn each time and step up in class, which he's doing. But his self-belief and it's not arrogance, it's self-belief. He's not a cocky, he's a very quiet, very articulate young man. So I think he's such a sellable boy. If you know him, he's very, very clever, and he'll get there because he listens. And that's he's I'm sure he'll take on all the knowledge from all the experienced people around him, like his managers, promoters, and he's got a good family background. And I think he'll get there. He just needs to be patient.
How does he gel with everybody else that's in the gym? You mentioned Sam. You've obviously got Skye in the gym as well. It's a mix of personalities. I assume it's not always a case of they gel with those other personalities. Does he fit in quite well?
Yeah, I mean, him and Sam are friends anyway. Sam's from Maidstone, he's from Chatham. They know each other ever so well, and you could not get along with Sam Noakes, who's probably the most likable boy in boxing with the hardest hands. But Henry likes him. Him and Skye got on really well. Manuel Batterjee, who's our young 18-year-old, a little bit younger than that, who's a multi-talented kid, and then you've got a few of the older ones, and you've got Will Hamilton and Danny Digman's in there. His experience. He gets on with all of them, and I think they've all got these silly, childish ways, which is quite good. So I think we're at the track tonight, and they'll all be playing jokes on me and Eddie, unfortunately.
Keeps you young, does it, Alan?
Oh, yeah, as I'm getting into late 50s, yeah, definitely. Just the jokes are getting worse, unfortunately.
Well, we hope to see Moses Itauma join that top heavyweight scene soon. I do want to talk to you a little bit about what we've got coming up over the next few months, starting with this Friday. Anthony Joshua taking on Francis Ngannou. You've been involved in training fighters and in the sport for a long, long time, but it seems although the fundamentals with Francis Ngannou have been there since the start. Have you been surprised with how he's adapted to boxing from MMA?
Yeah, I think so. I didn't know much about him. I don't follow MMA or any other sport. I thought that Fury would beat him, but I just think that was a bad night for Tyson. And I think AJ stopped him on Friday. I really do. I know he's had MMA fights and he's had all of that, but he's under Ben Davison, who's a great trainer. Ben will have him tactically perfect, and I think he stops him. I know a lot of people don't. They say, well, you can hit him with a wall, but AJ's very clever. He's very experienced. He's got an incredible pedigree, and I think he'll stop him and make a statement.
Where do you see Ngannou going in this sport? Do you think there is more for him to do? Do you think it's worth him sticking around and taking on the people maybe slightly below the level of AJ and Fury? Do you think he has the level to mix it there or not?
I think it all depends on how he looks on Friday. If he loses on points and puts a good thing, he's a potential opponent as a gatekeeper. But if he gets ironed out, he's already booked a fight with MMA, I believe, I've been told. So I think really there's a big transition. If he wants to beat AJ, I don't think that'll happen. It rewrites what we should all be doing as coaches for years and years, spending kids, and just get a young man or an older man out of the MMA to wipe the floor of the heavyweight division. I mean, I want AJ to win, for one, because he's good for the sport, and secondly, just to prove that you should have spent your years developing your skills.
And another reason maybe a lot of us here would like to see him win is the potential of finally getting towards an AJ Tyson Fury matchup. With everything going on out in Saudi, it does seem that is edging closer. They've said that if AJ comes through and Tyson comes through, depending on the situation with the Fury Usyk rematch, that may be on the table. With everything going on in Saudi, does it feel like it's a bit closer, do you think?
I mean, Tyson's a crazy guy, and you can never tell with him. He doesn't have to do anything. He has been massive for the sport. He's a big character, a big colourful guy, and I just don't know whether that fight will actually happen, and whether it should happen years ago. They're both about the same level in their time of the sport. So you can never tell. I think they've both got fights to get through, and they've both got very hard fights to get through. I think Tyson has a harder fight than AJ when he boxes in May.
Certainly as well. Thank you very much for your time, and I really appreciate it. I'll see you in Sheffield in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you. Take care.